We're heading into the future, so grab your blue and red glasses, people, because we're entering the third dimension.
Gotta be fucking kidding.
Here's the first movie.
Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Peel that pig and slice him thick.
The body count is always bigger.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
The fucking trees walked in those movies.
Hi, doggy.
What a story, Mark.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled.
It's just like your opinion, man.
Life moves pretty fast.
If you want your sequel to become a franchise.
37 dicks.
In a row?
I'm your number one fan.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Marathon Me with your host, Kane.
And Rhys.
And today, I'm very excited to actually talk about this one. Today, we're talking about Friday the 13th, Part 3, or Friday the 13th, 3D.
This one breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart because we missed seeing this in 3D.
I know. Oh my god. Yeah. It was going to be playing at the Astor Theatre.
No, it wasn't.
Was it Astor?
No. So
where was it?
So what it was? Shout out to Monsterfest, because Monsterfest 2022 they played this movie restored in 4K in 3D to watch it in a cinema. And this is at the time that you got to keep in mind that also I live in Sydney and Kane lives in Melbourne right now. So they were playing this all around, like they were doing sort of like a roadshow thing where the festival is playing at different times in different states around Australia. Mm-hmm. So when I was in Sydney, the festival started in Melbourne. So it was playing in Melbourne when I was in Sydney. And then I had to cross state borders to come here because of my graduation or some shit.
Yeah, I know,
Christmas.
that's really weird.
And to see my loved ones and all
Disgusting.
these things. And when I came, that is when Monsterfest stopped in Melbourne and then started again in Sydney. So the dates perfectly paralleled in such a way that I could never meet this screening of the 4K 3D remastering of Part 3, which is also, like, at the time, like, I saw this as my favourite Friday the 13th movie as well.
Yeah, same here. It was like, definitely one of my favourite, viewing experiences of the Friday the 13th movies last time we saw them.
Yeah.
And, like, I could have seen it, because, obviously I was in Melbourne when this was playing, but, like, I considered it, but I was like, what's the point? Like, all my other friends probably wouldn't really care about Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. And the one guy that, I knew would love to watch this with me, he's all the way up in Sydney. So, I don't want to watch it by myself, because, I want to, joke around with my mate and, just laugh at how, goofy this movie is and all that. And so I was just like, yeah, it's just not worth it.
That is very sweet of you, man. But I would have understood if you did go to see it.
Yeah.
I do totally understand.
There were points where I was considering it, but I was just like, nah, there's no point.
I kept on getting targeted ads because I love Friday the 13th so much on Instagram and Facebook that kept on showing me that this was happening.
They just kept rubbing salt in the wound for you, man.
They did. And I commented being like, why? If I could go to this, I would be going to this. And Monsterfest, they gave me a little sad react on my comment.
Damn,
yeah.
That's it. It's just a sad react. Damn, bro, they shafted you.
But, it's quite a young film, right? The young age of 40 years old,
Yeah, that's fine. 40, it's the new 20.
We have a whole 60 years left in our life, probably. So hopefully it'll happen again at some point.
They could do like a 100th anniversary special in 2082.
Yeah, exactly.
So we should be alive by then.
Yeah,
so we can catch it then when we're old and senile.
Exactly. And I'm just picturing that we've been waiting our entire lives for this, and then still it airs when we cannot see it.
We'll get fucked over. Like one of literally the day before one of us dies, and the other one's just like, well, now I can't fucking see it. Thanks a lot for screwing me over again.
I know. I freaking know.
Oh my god.
At least we could watch this one today together, rewatch it, and oh my god, is it beautiful.
What a film. And you know what? Here's a little bit of the trailer, guys.
Weekends are a good time to escape to the woods. Unless the weekend begins with Friday the 13th. Because 13 is an unlucky number. But out here, so are 1 through 12. Because these are Jason's woods. And nobody leaves them alive. Friday the 13th, Part 3, in 3D. Jason, you can't fight him. You can't stop him. And now, you can't even keep him on the screen.
You can't even keep him on the screen, man.
There were several points during this movie where, like, I was fearing for my life. Like, I thought this was going to be like Samara in the Ring. He was going to crawl out the TV and just start lumbering towards us, stabbing us, shooting us with that harpoon gun.
Oh my god! Or like getting poked in the eye with like a washing pole. A child pointing a baseball bat in our face.
The guy like bloody playing with the yo-yo. I thought the yo-yo was going to hit me right in the nose. Oh my lord! I wouldn't know how to react.
The bruise that you would have had for weeks.
I know, it would have been nuts. And I'm literally just getting over a sunburn on my nose where I look at bloody Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh my god, I'd have to get my bloody nose amputated or some shit.
How egregious is this 3D in the best way?
I love it. I love like 3D movies that are really egregious in terms of their like showing off the 3D technology. Like, you know, you got those movies in like the mid 2000s, like the Robert Rodriguez kids movies, like Spy Kids 3D.
I was gonna say this to me is like the horror movie equivalent of Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah, or like Shark Boy and Lava Girl and all that. Yeah. I love it.
It feels more charming though because it's all practical stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's also not an eyesore either, like those movies.
Man, like there's one particular 3D thing that I like remember in freaking Spy Kids 3D, which is like when they're inside the video game and there's like these frogs that are like attached to springs.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think is it Taylor Lautner? Is Taylor Lautner in
No,
this?
Taylor Lautner's in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh, okay. It's a little dude that looks like Shark Boy, and he's like throwing around these freaking frogs, and this frog is coming in your face, and it's just this terribly CGI'd shit.
Yeah.
In this, I love how egregious and weird it is, but you see things like, as I said, the washing pole. There's a TV antenna being adjusted in your face. There's like an old hillbilly man that's sort of like a fill-in for Ralph in one scene that just has a human eyeball.
Yeah, and he's just showing it off to the audience.
And he just looks at the camera, just shoves it in the camera. It's awesome. It's so
honestly,
cool.
that scene was like kind of a bit unnerving and all that, because he's like, ye have been warned, ye have been warned. And for some reason, I felt really unsettled during that scene.
Oh, okay.
Like, despite the egregious 3D, I was like, I feel a bit creeped out. I feel like I should just go home right now. I don't want to be doomed.
I love how cartoonish it is, like the old man having a sleep on the road.
I said it during the film. Motherfucker looked like bloody Uncle from Red Dead 2, just like chilling in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the road. I was just hoping that like when he gets up, he's just like, oh, I'm not moving. I got a lumbago.
And he's the person that's driving. She's like stopped by her friend. Like, no, stop. There's someone on the road.
Yeah.
She would have just run over this man.
Oh my god.
They would have been murderers. They would have been the first people to make a kill in this.
You reckon
film.
she would have done it? You reckon like she would have done it and felt anything if her friends didn't tell her?
I think she would have just done it. I think that they just would have been just keep on going.
Damn, man, I guess she has a prejudice against homeless old men, I guess.
I feel like this movie feels like a shift. I think it feels like a shift for this franchise that like the opening has started and we get the most 80s synths by Harry Manfredini that you have ever heard in your life.
Yeah, I love it so much. Especially with like the opening credits literally like popping up at you.
Oh.
Like, it's so good, man. I love it so much. Like, I'll just say it right now, like so far this is the best one by a mile.
I have a big thing that I this came into my mind when watching the film that I wanted to save until the podcast to tell you this.
Alright, am I going to be angry?
I knew that this is one of my favourite, and dude, not only is it still my favourite Friday the 13th movie that we've gone through so far, this may be, when watching this may be one of my favourite movies.
Really?
In general.
Really?
It does and is everything that I like about slasher movies. It's everything that I like about horror, it's everything that I like about campiness. It is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Really?
Yep, it is.
Because for me, like, this is a definite, like, high 8 out of 10 for me. Like, oh my god. I thought I was giving it high praise. Wow.
This, to me, perfects the genre.
Yeah.
Like, just perfect, and like not like maybe doesn't perfect like slasher, because like Scream probably perfects like that slasher movie, but this perfects the campy 80s slasher.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, definitely. That's a great point right there.
I have yet to come across a film that I don't think I've watched a movie in a while that has given me this much serotonin, to be honest. And I also, like, last night I rewatched with Patrick Hausu, like the 1970s Japanese horror film.
Yeah, you told me on the phone, yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. I probably didn't as much enjoy the rewatch because I think that what I loved about Hausu was the unexpected nature of it.
Yeah.
But this, upon rewatch, I loved even more. Like,
It's crazy, like, because I was kind of worried going into this movie that maybe, because, like, we had such a great time the last time we watched it, I was kind of worried it wouldn't have held up as well.
I was also worried of the same thing.
And if anything, it surpassed the last viewing for me. Like, it's just so good.
I want to show everyone this.
It's like... It's what I think of. It's what I think of when I want to think about like a classic cheesy 80s slasher movie. I'm going to be thinking about this, like the terrible 3D effects, the really graphic, gruesome kills, the characters that, like, you know, while not 3-dimensional, they're a lot of fun, and like you remember them.
What I think I get from this film, especially compared to the last two, it feels like people really tried to make a good movie when it came to this film. Like, really, really tried, and it is fruitful. Like, their efforts are fruitful.
Well, I mean, especially because, like, you know, like, when they're, you know, using, like, kind of new, like, 3D technologies and all that during, like, the big boom of the 80s, they had to put in a lot of effort to, like, you know, compose these shots to make them, you know, 3D.
This, to me...
So, with that extra effort, obviously, then there would be extra effort put into, like, you know, mise-en-scene, set dressing and all that, and, you know, just, you know, like, just everything, really.
You can see immediately the attempt for the cinematography to even be way artsier.
Oh,
like,
my God.
It opens with, like, it's even almost like a cliche of, like, artistic cinema. So it opens with sheets blowing in the wind.
Oh, my God,
At these people that live near Camp Crystal Lake or something.
It's like
just a random couple.
Yeah, it's a little, like, convenience store and all that.
Yeah, little convenience store near Crystal Lake. And like, firstly, how does this couple have that many sheets, and why do they have that many sheets?
I guess, but I love you said earlier that, like, the husband there is probably a chronic bedwetter.
He probably is, the poor guy. And that's why his wife is so pissed off at him all the time.
Yeah.
But that is, even like that scene, I was just like engorged with serotonin and appreciation for this film, because I think that this opening with that couple is magnificent.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. It seems like someone has put thought into the composition of these shots. In the last two films, it doesn't feel like someone has.
No.
It really does not. And even down to like little details of like the store. Okay, this, like, oh, man, when watching this movie, I was thinking that if I was a media teacher, I would choose this as one of the... I'm not even kidding.
No, I'm like laughing because, like, that's like fucking amazing.
I would pick this as a like text to analyze for many different reasons. But I'll first talk about how, like, I think that this supermarket shot, this supermarket scene is fantastic in just creating an essence of world, and an essence too for, like, you know, both these characters are going to die, but you care so much more than if you don't give a shit. Like, if it's just like a hollow husk that you're seeing get killed.
Yeah.
You see in these 5 minutes that we spend with the husband who looks like Mario. Yeah, I think that his name is like... Oh, no, I didn't write it down.
Let's call him Mario.
Anyway, yeah, it's Mario. Yeah, so this opening is fantastic because you truly feel the couple are human beings, and Mario has charm. He has a little sign in the you can see in the setting a little sign in front of the goldfish bowl.
Yeah.
Where it says like hello, my name is Mr. Muriel or something. Like, they've named the goldfish.
It's adorable, honestly.
Yeah. And then there's here, like, you see Mario feeding the goldfish and then trying the fish food and going, it's not that bad. And then eating more fish food.
It's a cute little character moment.
It's a cute character moment. He's got charm. He goes through his grocery store and he's there, so like eating his own product, taking little sips of juice, and it's just like it's innocent. It's so innocent, and you can just see that he's a dickhead. He's got this wife that hates him, that he hates her as well, and he's like he's got this humble little life going on. He goes to and there's the rabbit. It almost feels like have you heard the expression of like the save the cat?
No, I have not.
So it's I'm pretty sure that Save the Cat is also a book that is about screenwriting, and it's pretty much saying like if you want someone like the most basic textbook way for someone to identify with a character and care about them is show them saving a cat. You show that they have empathy, they're willing to put another living thing above themselves, and they're strong. They're and it's like saving a cat is a perfect sort of microcosm of that.
Nice. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And here, early on, he picks up this rabbit, holds it, pats it, is really like this is his friend, this rabbit. He talks to it. He brings it back to the rabbit hutch to sort of like rescuing, saving this rabbit, saving the cat sort of thing. Goes to the rabbit hutch, sees that the other rabbits are dead, gets upset about this. Oh no, what miserable bastard did this to you, sort of thing. And then it's a snake that pops out.
Oh my god, yeah.
3D moment.
You can like see like the strings on it, like
yeah.
It's really endearing though, like just like how shit the 3D is in this movie. It's so endearing.
But throughout this entire scene, it establishes this person.
Yeah.
Not just a body, a person.
Yeah.
That we know is going to die, but we feel a little bit more when they do.
No, it's really appreciated because they didn't have to do that. For
they
us.
Don't have, yeah.
They didn't do it in the first two movies, so doing it in this one, it's just really nice. It's nice and appreciated,
Someone cares, and because somebody cares making this film, you care as well. And oh man, so fucking good.
Oh yeah, no, couldn't agree more, man. Like. It really does hurt when you see him die, and also let me just say that they really just go all out with the death scenes in this movie as well. Like, bro, gets a cleaver right in his chest, and it is fucking brutal, man.
It is, yeah, totally.
And
right.
then Jason shrouds his body into darkness, which is a nice kind of nice little storytelling with the lighting, being he dies in the light and then is thrown into the darkness. Basically, his life force is taken away, which is I don't know if that was intentional or not on the director's part or the cinematographer's part, but I think that's incredible, right?
Damn,
there.
Good analysis.
Yeah,
very good analysis, and you even see. There's even artful ways of putting Jason into the setting here. He's hiding amongst the bed sheets.
Yeah.
And his face, he's not wearing a sack or a mask at this point.
Yeah, you just see this bald-headed man, yeah.
Yeah, and his face is obscured because he's so far away. So it's not revealing too much there, but you can see this ominous presence there, and then he just disappears.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
Yeah, there's and this whole location, it's such a a relevant location to the film, right? But they put effort and artistic flair into it.
Yeah, it's a very effective cold open, basically.
Yeah, completely. Completely. So that is it's a microcosm of how good this film is.
Yeah, and and the film doesn't really let up from there. The film's just a great, competently made, more than competently made, ride throughout, man.
I think both of us in the next scene where they're introducing our cast of sexy teens, right? There's there's a shot where they're in the middle of a suburban street to pick up a friend.
Yeah.
And there's this tracking shot.
Oh yeah.
It's this is shot wonderfully.
Yeah, and there's one part where you see the kind of the sun gleaming against the camera.
There's a lens flare.
Yeah, a lens flare of the sun. It's that looks genuinely great. You could screenshot that and then put it amongst screenshots of famous movie shots, and you wouldn't be able to tell that it was from a fucking slasher movie from the early 80s.
A middle of the franchise freaking Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, especially during during the 3D boom of the 80s. You wouldn't expect it to look this good, especially compared to films that were coming out at that point, like Jaws 3D and all that,
Man, yeah.
Insanity.
Effort is put into it. And one other thing that effort is put into so much that is a huge point of difference from this and so many of the other Friday the 13th movies is the cast of characters. They are phenomenal.
Yeah, they're really endearing and fun to watch.
Like, it is like, they're like cartoon characters at this point. And that's what it feels like it should be. It's like this feels like the the purest essence of what you think of with cheesy 80s slasher films.
Yeah, exactly. They don't feel like real people, but like they feel like cartoon characters, and like in the most endearing way possible.
There's Shelley.
Oh,
he's the prankster.
Fucking god, Shelley.
He's like, oh my god, he's like this curly haired, awkward
Jonah Hill from Superbad looking ass guy.
Poor guy, just trying to make friends, doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah, all he does is just play pranks, and his pranks involve him mainly just pretending to be a serial killer and him...
Or pretending to be murdered.
Yeah, pretending to be murdered, and it's like, yeah, that's a way to make friends, Shelley. Sure. Look, if Shelley was around if this movie took place nowadays, Shelley, I feel like, would have no trouble making friends and all that. I feel like there'd be a lot of like-minded individuals that would be into that same stuff, but because he's like hanging around with conventionally attractive teens in the early 80s, they don't take so kindly to that that kind of tomfoolery.
Yeah, I like how he's like supposed to be like the ugly nerdy type, but he's got some character there. I think that where you also feel his character and personality is that you feel that he is trying.
Yeah.
And also, the other people are sort of trying too a little bit. Like, he's just misguided as hell. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's socially inept.
He doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like,
like
that was one of my favorite, like, during one of the pranks that he does where he fakes his death, they're yelling at him, and it's just like, oh, he just doesn't know any better.
One of my favorite scenes where he fakes his death is this.
Oh, my
yeah, but
Lord.
you're right. It's so good. There's freaking, at the end of this scene, the teenagers look towards their van and they're like, oh no, the van's on fire, and then run to the van, and because all this smoke's coming out of it, and then they just reveal that in the back of the van is a Cheech and Chong knockoff.
Oh my god, yeah, named Chuck and Chili.
Chuck and Chili.
Like, come on, that is so fucking funny.
And they are like Chuck is just Cheech, without a doubt.
Quite literally, it's ridiculous. Also, I love that, like, the other two films, they kind of allude to, like, pot smoking and all that, smoking a J, and then this one, it's just like, they just go all out, they're ripping bongs in the back of the bloody van, like, just literally, they're literally making the van up in smoke, like, oh my lord.
The car gets chased by the van gets chased by a cop car, it seems, so then they're all, like, they're panicking. This is another awesome character moment that's really charming is they're all like, shit, we need to get rid of this weed, how are we gonna do it,
yeah.
And then they all just like eat it, just like trying to eat it as quick as possible, and then they pull over and then the cop car just goes straight past them.
It
does not give a shit about them.
That's another thing about this movie.
That's great.
That's another thing about this movie is that, like, there's a lot of parts that are kind of, throughout all these movies, I feel like there are so many unintentionally funny moments, but there are genuine funny moments in this movie that, like I said, feel genuinely funny. Like they wrote this to, like, oh, let's make the audience laugh before, like, scaring them. And it's like, it works so well.
It feels so genuine.
Yeah.
Genuine laugh. You can laugh at, definitely, the film at times, but you can also laugh with it as well. And also, like, I think everyone that would be working on this film would also laugh at it. Because it's such a product of its time.
Oh my god, yeah, totally.
Oh, that's actually... I want to finish the sentiment of what I was talking about before as well, with why I would even pick this as like a year 12 media... text, because not only just, like, you can analyze scenes and the mise-en-scène and, like, all these different sort of things there, but you could also even, like, analyze all the layers of historical context here and how it affects the film directly. The 3D boom of the 80s.
Yeah.
The slasher franchise booms, exploitation, like, all these sort of things that you could focus on and take an approach with.
It's a perfect, like, time capsule of, like, those, like, big film crazes and all that from, like, way back when, back in, like, early 80s.
Yeah, and also just, like, how, like, because this one as well, a year after the last one, right?
Yeah.
Just how, like, such a that's a very unique thing, like, from a unique era of just popping out sequel after sequel after sequel every year in this franchise is just unreal, and you could go really deep into it, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. I really, if I have a kid and they want to do media, you better be their teacher. I'm going to make sure that they go to a school. If you ever become, like, a film teacher, they're going to your school, mate.
Oh, thank you.
No worries.
I don't think that I will be.
Well, too bad you are now. It's set in stone. I said so, co-host said it on the podcast, so Rhys has to do it now.
I have always thought, being a teacher, I think I would really enjoy and be quite good at.
Yeah.
But, like, Like, you would feel the exact same with certain things, right? You see a job that you're like, I would love to do this, but you only have one life, and it would take a lot of time to study to become a teacher, and then actually be it and be like,
true, but just go, like, you go in, you just say like, hey, I have a film podcast, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to filmmaking and all that stuff. Let me be a teacher. And then they'll listen to the podcast. They'll be, oh hell yeah, okay, you're a teacher too.
Oh yes, of course. This guy knows how to talk. Bullshit.
Yeah, this guy knows.
Fun fact about my roots of podcasting is once I got my microphone and before we recorded our first ever episode of Marathon Me, as a tech demo, I was asked by my Year 12 philosophy teacher to record a podcast of me going through the Year 12 philosophy exam.
Okay.
And it was lockdown at the time, and I remember I sat down, set up my microphone equipment for the first time, had a glass of scotch, and drank that as I went through the philosophy exam.
Oh, yo.
And it was what I had. That was one of my highlights of lockdown from 2020.
Oh, that sound. Do you still have it?
I would still have it somewhere.
I wouldn't mind giving that a little bit of a listen, honestly.
That would actually be so interesting.
Especially like as a guy that like, never did philosophy and all that. That'd be interesting to listen to.
It would be fascinating to listen to it myself, even just for like a time capsule of me at the end of 2020. Like first year of uni finished, first year of lockdown finished. This whole like confronting period of time with having to confront adulthood. It would be fascinating to listen to that. So I think
that'd be pretty fucking cool.
I will at some point.
Hell yes, I'll be there to listen.
But there's so the location of this film as well is that we're no longer at Packanack Lodge, we're at Higgins Haven.
Yep, good old. We've gone from proper summer camp to like a lodge now, which is at just some some person's property now.
Yeah, there's no real reference to like a summer camp here.
No, not really.
Yeah, it's like they're just on like holiday or something.
Yeah, there's just a couple friends going out to Higgins Haven for the weekend.
Yeah. I would love coming to Higgins Haven. Has a great barn there.
Oh my god, yes. Has a great barn. Just has a great like kind of like layouts, like similar to Packanack Lodge and all the layout. Oh, I love it. And also it just looks like a very beautiful area, honestly. Like especially with obviously the lighting of this film helps as well because the film like is very bright and colourful, like very oversaturated in terms of the colouring, but not to the point where it's like sickening to look at,
It makes the actual like location that they're at look the most endearing to visit, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like it feels like that you're almost there in like a. Like, oh man, I love that. I really like that because it is interesting to look at.
You feel like you're there on a summer vacation with your mates and all that.
Yeah.
It's just like how these characters are in this movie.
Everything is colourful on many layers, and like this like colourful cast. When you just about think that the entire cast are revealed, they go to the supermarket.
Oh yes,
and then they reveal and introduce the most eccentric group of rebel bullies that you've ever seen in your life.
Just a trio of bikers that are like in their like early 30s or something that just they just start needlessly antagonizing two of the characters, Vera and Shelley, because like Shelley like tries chucking his wallet at Vera and then drops it, and then just the bikers, one of them takes it and then just like is like, give it back only if you say please.
Oh, takes out Shelley's condom.
Oh yeah, sorry, takes out Shelley's condom and just starts like berating them for having it. It's like, okay, I guess you don't. I mean, they're bikers, they're rebels, so they don't approve of safe sex. Obviously.
Yeah, they're not about protection.
I honestly, dude, that whole gas station scene I love so much because it just only gets better, man.
They feel like almost like Stephen King bullies. Like these guys. Like,
yes, they do.
Oh, it's so good.
My god, yes.
Like they almost feel 50s more than 80s bullies.
Yeah, no, definitely, and like man, it's just that whole scene just gets better. Like when they get out and get in the car, Shelley, like the dickhead he is, like knocks over their bikes.
Yeah.
And you can't do that to a biker. That's a big no-no. So then, like my favorite part, just Ali coming up to the car.
Oh yeah, Ali is a fan favorite character. From this one.
Yes,
he's one of the bikers.
Yeah, he's one of the bikers. He wraps a chain around his hand, stops the car, looks at Shelley. I only call him Sherry. Shelley and Vera looks at them in the car, gives them the fucking cheesiest, most wholesome smile ever.
Most shit-eating grin I've ever seen.
And Shelley just like again, like the fucking idiot he is, smiles back at him, and then boom, Ali just punches the window, and like I could not stop laughing watching this scene, man. It was amazing.
There's so much camp. It's one of the scenes that are not in the camp, but it's filled with so much camp.
I love it so much. Like, so good.
Each character has like a thing that is unique, and we couldn't help but like start casting like a modern remake.
Yeah.
I honestly, because of how much I love this film, how interesting is the concept of like remaking a film in the middle of a franchise?
Yeah.
Like if they just remade Friday the 13th Part 3.
Oh, that would be the only film I want to see them remake, honestly. They've remade the first one, and then, you know, the 2009 remake had elements of 2 and 3 as well. But, you know, this one, like, they should just remake just 3 just in its entirety, just keep the camp, keep everything, just like get a whole different cast in, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We've got one of the bikers is Rosario Dawson, without a doubt.
Yep.
The Samuel Jackson, another one of the bikers. Kiefer Sutherland then finishes the trio.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember when you said Kiefer Sutherland is one of the bikers. Like, for the rest of the movie, I was just looking at him, especially just like, oh, that looks like a young Kiefer Sutherland, like Lost Boys era Kiefer Sutherland.
Totally
I
did.
could definitely see that.
And then there's Shelley is obviously going to be Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
There's let's see who else is in the cast that we can cast up right now.
There's the Stoners.
The Stoners, obviously Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong, yeah.
We won't even
definitely.
have to gender bend the freaking the female.
No,
in this couple.
exactly. No, it's perfect.
It's better if we just do it.
What about Rick? What about the main love interest in the movie? The one that looks 40.
Oh, the one that looks 40. Well, you would get Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
This dude, he has like the same sort of like zero neck that Lou Ferrigno has.
Yeah. And he's like this Rick guy. Rhys says Lou Ferrigno because like this Rick guy, he looks and is dressed just like he would be in like in the 70s Hulk TV series, and he said that, and again. Every time I looked at this Rick character, I was just like, he's going to go Hulk mode. Any second now, he's going to go Hulk mode and kick Jason's ass. Just watch.
Yeah, exactly. So thank God for Jason that he didn't see him when he was angry.
Oh, exactly.
Thank God.
Well, thank God Jason got the drop on him beforehand, you know, and popped his head open. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he like, his death, I was not expecting that to happen
Oh my
so
God,
quickly.
I love Rick's death scene. The eye popping out on the screen, how like obviously fake and shitty the head looks. Like, I love it so much.
Love the cut where you can see them changing out a real human being for a dummy. So good.
Oh my God, it's so endearing.
I cannot get over this film. And Shelley, I was really standing behind for like the entire film.
See, I had my reservations because I was already annoyed with the pranks from the first movie. He was on my nerves. Shelley in this one. On my nerves because of the whole pranking, but then also just the constantly bitching, being like, well, I just want to fit in. It's like, bro, just shut up, man.
So that's the thing that I think makes me identify with Shelley a lot more, is that like every movie has had a prankster.
Yeah.
Like that seems to be one of the archetypes for some reason. And
they really seem to have gotten more and more annoying.
In the other two films, their pranksters, if anything, the reaction that they got was, "Oh, you're always doing this. Stop." Shelley, people actually go, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Man? What is wrong with you?"
They hate him. Yeah, they do not like this guy, and it makes you think like, why the fuck did they invite him out?
And you can see how sad he is. You can see how sad he is about that, and then he doesn't know any different.
Yeah,
because he wants these people to like him. He even says it later on. And then but he's trying. He's trying. The other guys. They're like dickheads, like as in all of the other pranksters, and then still everyone loves them. So it's like Shelley, you feel you can identify with that.
You do feel you feel a little bit for him, but any sympathy, any modicum of sympathy I had went out the window halfway through the film. You care to explain why, Rhys?
Oh, I feel like you can explain why.
Okay, well, basically, so Shelley, he tries to, he's throughout the whole movie, he's trying to get with his Vera chick.
He makes his move.
Yeah, he tries to make his move, and she turns him down. She turns him down pretty easily. She's like, well, look, I'm going to go outside, and I'll come back, and we'll talk and all. She didn't, recoil in disgust or horror.
Yeah.
She let him went down easy. And then he's like, yeah, okay. And then under his breath, you can hear him say, bitch. And I told Rhys to rewind it because I needed confirmation. I needed confirmation. No, I did because, like, I swear I heard it. And so I'm like, Rhys, rewind that, please.
I was like, no, my boy Shelley wouldn't say that.
Exactly. And then what happened? We rewound it. And what did Shelley say, Rhys? What did your precious Shelley say?
He muttered under his breath, bitch.
Yep,
it happened.
And so that confirms Shelley is a nice guy.
He's an incel.
He's an incel nice guy. All he needs is a fedora, but I don't think his afro would be able to support it.
Yeah, and later on he has a bit of an incel monologue when Vera, he scares Vera when she's like hanging her feet off of the edge of the little pier sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, then reveals that it's him, that he's just like pranking her again. And Vera's like, why do you do this, Shelley? Why do you do this? And he's like, because I have to. No, you don't. And he's like, I just want everyone to like me.
Oh my god.
And that's it. That's the curse. It's the trying to get people to like you. That makes people not like you because you're trying too hard, and then...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just very like, oh my god. Like, I swear to god, he was a couple of scenes away from being like, oh, why do girls never go for the nice guys? I'm a nice guy.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
bro, I swear to god, I could have seen him. Mate, in the remake, they'll actually turn him into a proper nice guy. Just watch.
Yeah,
they'll make him into like a proper incel. Have him actually
fedora and everything.
Yeah, have him start spouting actual like Redditor lines.
Yeah,
let's fucking go.
And also in this scene where he's there like pranking Vera on the pier, we see for the first time in the franchise the iconic hockey mask in pristine and clean, gorgeous high definition.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Like, it's so clean. Oh my lord, it's gorgeous.
Did you feel that these shots before Jason gets the mask and Shelley's just carrying it around?
Yeah.
That it almost looks like it's glowing in every scene.
Yeah, because it's the cleanest we've ever seen the hockey mask. Obviously, like before Jason gets it. Yeah,
it's such a unique color that stands out from the rest of the set. We're also like a part of the set design too is that everything is a little bit like. Is sort of gross and filthy and a little bit run down, and then there's this pristine hockey mask.
Yeah, definitely. And oh my god, like just the second like seeing that hockey mask again, because like obviously we watched the first two movies and like it was honestly kind of weird seeing the hockey mask in this movie and then seeing Jason wear it because we hadn't seen these movies in forever and we just watched the first two, and so seeing the mask was kind of like oh yeah, it's nice. The mask is in this one. Oh my god, we get to see it.
You get chills. You get chills when you see it for the first time.
Oh my god, yes.
And then Mask Jason, he pops up and he's so imposing.
Oh my god,
he's so freaking imposing, and wearing that mask. Here's a little deep dive with Rhys. Maybe the reason, because why is Jason gone for this hockey mask? Mm-hmm. Out of everything that he could have used, could have gotten another sack, could have gotten some other thing, could have why not just be like out in the open with your face? It's because he doesn't want to be ugly. He's around all these sexy teens and he wants to be like them. So what he picks up is the clean, pristine hockey mask amongst a landscape of filth. He just wants to be as clean and pretty as all of the rest.
Oh man! See, all he wants is just to make friends. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah,
he's just like Shelley. Him and Shelley are one and the same.
That monologue could apply for both of them. They just don't know any better.
Shelley was speaking Jason's words. Jason just can't enunciate them because he can't talk.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the spirit of Jason, this whole idea that I have of like the possessive Jason in my brain, that's where he goes into Shelley's mind for 1 second. Man.
Yeah, that was a cry for help from Jason himself.
Yeah, I knew
a cry for, no, not even a cry for help, a cry for connection in a way.
And like how just like I love how when we see Jason in his hockey mask for the first time, it's like it's not obscured. He just comes onto the pier.
Yeah, it's just very very matter of fact.
Yeah, walks slowly there. For some reason, Vera thinks it's freaking Shelley at first.
Yeah,
man. If Shelley went to the gym. Fucking pumped his shoulders.
His shoulders
non-stop
and his
months.
neck just grew so fucking thick and muscly. Yeah. Like, oh my god. Oh, hey Shelley, you're hot. You're all bulky now. All right, let's go.
Yeah. and then shoots her with the harpoon gun.
Oh, that kill's so fucking good, by the way.
That's a great gun. And then just drops it, walks off.
I love just, like, the weird, like, casual demeanor in him dropping the gun. He's just like, yep, and just, like, kind of lumbers away. Like, he's just like, oh, okay, another day at the office.
Yeah,
Let's go.
exactly.
I love it.
Man, and with the massive cast, there's so many deaths, and they're all so creative and interesting.
Yeah, definitely. These are some of the best kills in the series so far, honestly.
If they don't take advantage of the 3D element, then they're just interesting and and they use sort of like character quirks, like the dude that goes everywhere walking on his hands.
Yes,
and then bumps into Jason when he's walking on his hands, and then there's this shot where it's like from below him, in such a way that you see the bottom of his hand, so it must have been like a layer of glass. Like, he must have been handstanding on a layer of glass, camera below the glass, and then the machete comes down, chops him, and, like, splits him from his crotch downwards.
Oh, it's incredible. Oh, my God. And then, like, I remember when you see the body later, it's fucking brutal, man.
It is brutal. It gets to his, like, belly button.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's really, really brutal.
And then also, like, you know, not as good as, like, the leg split kill, but, like, his girlfriend's death, like, getting, like, that knife through her chest. Like, that was... I don't know why, that just stood out to me a lot, because I was like, damn, that is some good gore right there. And
all of them are great,
and it drags out quite a bit. Like, the scene drags... Like, it doesn't cut away like Part 2's kills did, where it cuts out, like, right before you get into some of the more nitty-gritty gore and all that. So it really, like, shows it off quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, man, I like that shit.
They all have something interesting and unique to it. Like, even Cheech, well, Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck.
His is like an accidental kill where it gets like... He sort of like trips over from Jason, getting scared by Jason, into like the circuit box.
Well, actually, no. Jason throws him into the circuit box.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. He like Jason grabs him and then chucks him into the circuit box basically.
And then gets fried to death.
I like that.
Yeah, gets baked from the inside out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Chili's death also very similar as well. Death by fire, death by getting blazed.
Yes. Yeah. You're right.
There we go.
Man, see, there's detail and nuance to these kills, not just we need to get rid of him.
Oh my God, I hope this is all intentional. I reckon it is, honestly, all these choices that were made and not just like completely all by accident. There's no way that like all these deaths could have been done by accident, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like coinciding with the character quirks, you know? Like, oh my God.
Even Shelley's is like perfect because it's a classic like Boy Who Cried Wolf situation.
It does suck that like he gets his throat slit off screen, but like how his death is handled, I think is great because like you said, a Boy Who Cried Wolf thing. The guy who would always, the guy would always play jokes all the time, and like everyone's like they're pissing everyone off, faking his death. The one time he is dying and needs help, no one believes him.
Yeah,
and I think that's great. I
exactly.
love it.
The pacing of this film is fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, this film does not drag in any way, shape, or form.
You are not bored because you always have something to grasp onto.
Yes,
either cheesiness, like it is nuts how much it just like you either have something to laugh at, something to laugh with, something to look at how beautifully shot it is, or like a cool kill that's coming around the corner. Like there's always something. And that is what like freaking saves this film.
There's a little something for everyone in this movie, I gotta say. Oh my Lord.
If somebody watches this film and they don't enjoy it, slasher movies are not for them.
Exactly.
80s slasher films are not for them.
You know what's funny is that this is, from what I've read, this is one of the worst reviewed Friday the 13th movies.
How?
Guys, this has a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. If that doesn't explain to you why Rotten Tomatoes is not the go-to site for critical reviews on movies, I don't know what is. I don't understand how this is a 7%, yet... I don't know. The first movie is 63%. Like, yeah, that's iconic nuts, status man. Aside, but no, this film's just as iconic as Friday the 13th Part 1, maybe even more, because this one is, like we said earlier, the quintessential campy, cheesy 80s slasher movie.
Even The Room has 26% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah. I want to see like what The Fanatic or something like that has. Like something really, really bad. There's not even like much enjoyment there. Yeah. I accidentally got Fantastic Four up.
Oh my God. Well, I think Fantastic Four has higher than this.
Oh, I would. The Fanatic has 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Are you serious?
more than double this.
That is fucked up, man. Like, bro, dude, there's so many movies that, like, just, they have nothing to them that, like, are in the 80s, the 90s even, in terms of score on Rotten Tomatoes. That god-awful Lion King remake, I think, like, definitely has a better score than this.
Oh, yeah, it would.
It's like, what? What are you smoking, boys and girls?
Even just, like, how Jason throughout, like, this entire sort of, like, final chase thing, because like, surprise, all the teenagers sort of slowly die until
no way, this movie sucks, bro. Predictable.
Until we have our final girl at the end, which I really, really like that final girl.
Yeah.
I think that I like that she even, so her name is Chris.
Yeah.
Apparently, and
I kept calling her. I forgot her last name was Higgins. I kept calling her Chris Hargensen throughout the whole movie.
Oh.
And which is funny because, like, Chris Hargensen is, like, the name of, like, I think one of the characters from the movie from Carrie.
How did I not make this connection then? Because Chris Higgins, she has had an encounter with Jason before.
Ah, yeah.
Because she got, like, she was just in the woods because she's also been to this place, Higgins Haven.
Yeah.
It's her family retreat. I didn't even put those.
You didn't put that together?
Didn't really put that together.
Oh, I already knew that going in, but, like, for some reason I still kept calling her by a different last name.
And then, like, so she actually, like, has like, Unmasked Jason is trying to, like I don't know what happens, but she gets knocked out by him and then just wakes up and he's gone.
You know, with that whole scene, because, like, it's very, like, left open to interpretation. In the original cut, they actually did have a lot more implied that he actually did sexually assault her in this movie. But
really?
And the reasoning behind it was because if they portrayed Jason as, like, a rapist, it would make the audience want to see him dead and, like, want to celebrate his death a whole lot more and make it feel more like, rewarding. But then they decided against it at the very end, so they decided to, like, cut a lot of the more implicit references,
like suggestions.
The more implicit suggestions and all that, and just kind of left it, like, just open to interpretation.
Do you know what sort of, like, suggestive stuff they put in there?
Not really. I was just reading when reading up on this movie, all they said was just, like, suggest, like, just a lot. It was a lot more, like, suggestive of, like, him doing a lot more, like, disgusting stuff to her.
Man, how good is that they didn't put that in?
I'm very happy about that. They almost pulled a Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 on us, and I don't know, I would not like that.
Because that is just so not what we understand Jason as.
No, exactly. And it's like,
he is an asexual human being.
Exactly. Like, I want to see my horror movie icons. I want to see them murder. I don't want to see them do disgusting, deplorable acts.
Yeah.
Like, that's what didn't work about the Elm Street remake. It was an interesting direction. It was interesting them trying to do something different. It did not work though, because I do not like to see one of my horror movie icons be a fucking rapist.
Like, imagine this. So me being really into Friday the 13th, my bag that I always have with me has a Jason mask badge on it.
Yeah.
I have a glow-in-the-dark Jason mask in my bedroom. I have in my house, in my kitchen, I have a giant Friday the 13th Jason puzzle set up. No one wants to be displaying like an icon that's a rapist all over themselves.
Exactly.
So I think very good decision there, and it's really interesting when you see and hear that these like creative decisions were, like, left on the cutting room floor, and you so often when watching films go, like, how did that get in? I can't believe they made that decision to, like, and didn't cut that out.
Yeah.
But all the terrible decisions that were cut out, luckily.
Oh my god, yeah.
That you think
for the best.
Yeah, for the better. And you're just like, yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
Thank God, because, like, yeah, it would have definitely soured the film and for me and all that.
Also, like Jason is just, like, still quite goofy in this.
Yeah.
He's more menacing than Baghead Jason.
Yeah.
Because you see how
definitely.
Like, how bulbous he is.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, like, there's also, like, a lot of, like, genuinely, like, really creepy shots of him, like, you know, skulking around the house looking for Chris. There's that great shot of him, like, after he throws Rick's body through the window, him coming through holding the machete. Oh, like, you know what shot I'm talking about, right? Oh my god. And it's like really windy as well, and like you can see like the wind and leaves blowing in the background.
That's like effort that they put into this, that like they created this sense of wind outside.
Yeah.
That, like they I don't think that they did in the last two. I knew that it was really rainy and stuff like that. But like wind is like you can see things in the like blowing in the air.
Gives it
and
an
things
extra
like that.
air of chaos in this movie, which is really appreciated.
Yeah, totally. And there's like, and the world is alive and has motion to it and all those sort of things.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it's also like even though that he is goofy and like getting his arms stuck in the freaking car window, like, which is a great escape, but you don't like it doesn't make him any less threatening.
No, exactly. Like, yeah, you're still creeped out by him and all that in this movie, which is great to see.
And just to think that that's the first ever chase scene with a hockey master Jason Voorhees that has ever existed.
With Jason Voorhees in his prime, prime Jason Voorhees. Like, it's great to see. I love it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And the final chase is a lot of fun in this. You got him like trying to break down the door with the axe. Very, 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 like gently unnerving, very Shining-esque, obviously. What's it called? Getting his hand slashed and then like just. Oh, it's so fucking good.
And, like, he still has a bit of humanity left in him, it looks, but he also far more looks like a monster.
Yeah.
Like, he has this monstrous presence.
Yeah, he has. He's like very like because like in the second movie, how you see like only one eye through the bag, he has like kind of like a childlike look to him, like especially like when looking into his eyes. In this one, there's no child in this one. This is just a bloody demon, and this is a demon behind the mask, basically.
Yeah. This is like a monstrous angry dad, Jason.
Yeah,
that's what I sort of see.
That's a good way of putting it. Monstrous angry dad, Jason.
This is like worst case scenario that you get caught at a girl's place from their dad, and then he wants you dead.
I would not want to mess with that girl's dad.
Yeah,
hot diggity damn.
Exactly. And it even ends up like the barn that is always like we keep on seeing, and like a location of like that's almost like where Jason is living, and that's like his hut equivalent in this film.
Yeah, because there are shots of him like hiding out in the barn earlier, and then obviously he like kills the biker gang in there.
Yeah, and
rest in peace to the best characters.
Shelley goes in there, and that's when he's last seen alive.
Yep.
The stoner girl goes in there, I think, and that I don't think that she dies there, but like she goes in there to investigate, and she dies quite soon after that.
Yeah.
Like that's like the danger hotspot in this film, and also like and is always like we do see it a bit, but it's like if someone's going in there, they're dying.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like the angel of death in this movie, basically.
Yeah. And the chase ends up there.
It does. Yep. And nice final set piece.
And Jason locks Chris in there with him.
That's like genuine like. That's like some like very smart hunter shit right there.
Yeah,
because like everyone loves to talk.
Locked in here with me.
Exactly, everyone loves to talk about like how like Jason in the remake has like a lot of like hunter tendencies, and like he's using traps and like stalking and all that. But like he does still have hunter tendencies in some of the earlier films. Like especially with like locking the barn behind him, so that way Chris can't go anywhere. Like it's really unnerving.
He runs off of like instincts quite a lot.
Yeah,
too. Yeah. So I think that with like a classical hunter, I think of a lot of like planning, but it's a mixture of instinct and planning.
Yeah,
he's got that like hunter instinct, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then with in the barn, then there's even like Ali comes back from the dead.
Oh my god, dude! I remember when we when we first like watched these movies together, I think we watched this with my brother as well. And my brother Nick had never seen a Friday the 13th movie, and then watching this movie when Ali came back on screen, because he had no idea what was coming up. I remember this, but like I remember like Ali coming back, but like just how hype we all kind of got because of this rejuvenated energy that we had for this movie. We were just like yes, and then like gets his hand cut off, and it's a very gruesome hand severing scene, and the terror in his face is like you're taken aback by it almost. And then Jason goes to fucking town on him, slamming that machete on him, because obviously he wants to make sure he's dead, because before he like slams, he knocks out Ali basically, so he wants to double, triple, quadruple tap him.
Ali is a strong freaking figure, because even earlier when he dies, Jason does that same thing, keeps on going and bashing his head in.
Yeah,
like this happens, like you can see him doing that, and I thought that it was like with a knife or some sort of like cleaver that he's doing this, and I'm like, surely he must be dead.
Yeah,
and then somehow it comes back from that. that, but then can't take it twice.
I think that's like the best part about that the whole character of Ali. It's just like they bring him back, like they bring him back, and you think like, oh, it's gonna be like an extended fight scene, or like maybe he might sacrifice himself. You start off as like a bit of a minor antagonist, but he'll sacrifice himself. It just literally dies 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
But I think that works perfectly, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's not only funny, but it also like
I'm back. Oh no!
It's funny, but it also like genuinely subverts your expectations as well. Like you're not expecting like a character who you thought was dead to come back only to die 5 seconds later. You think it'd at least be like maybe a 30-second break in between. No, just dead already.
Yeah, totally.
And I think the film's all the more better for it.
Yeah.
But it's still sad to see the man go, honestly.
I know, and that hand.
I know, that man. Rest in peace.
And interesting too that the hand that was cut off was also the hand that he used to commit the crime, like all the crimes. in the movie.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that. I didn't notice that. I just
it's probably look. Let's just say it is. Let's just say it is. Honestly.
Exactly. It's really talks a lot about redemption.
Exactly.
And having to repent for your sins.
He's paying for the crimes that he committed with that hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows how many windows he punched out with that bloody hand?
That's
honestly.
the hand that he was holding onto the hose with, that he like siphoned gas with.
Yes, true. Oh my god.
And then when like Jason is distracted, killing Ali, doing double tap sort of thing, then Chris comes in with a shovel, knocks him out, and then there's a lovely Chekhov's hoist.
Yeah, the pulley system from earlier.
Where it knocks him out, and then Chris puts it around his neck and then hangs him.
Fucking just
awesome.
Classic, just really pulling in a nice Victorian London type death.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Love that stuff. But I'm really glad that that's not how he goes out. Like, it's cool, but like you needed just a bit more oomph in it, you know? And that's why, it's great when it turns out he's alive. You get a little bit of look of the Jason face.
The freaking shot when she opens the barn doors and he's there hanging.
That is great.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, I love it so much. One thing I will say I don't love, to be honest. I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the Jason face in this one. I think the final shot with the blood rushing on his face during the fantasy sequence, I think that's creepy, but it's a little too Lord of the Rings goblin, or I think, as you said, very Sloth from the Goonies looking. And you saying that, it's creepy, but like we're gonna get into like the later films and but there are some better Jason faces, honestly, that this one, in my opinion, I'm just not the biggest fan of. It's just too like goblin looking for me.
I really like it. I really like the sort of like sloth look. I like that. It seems like that. It's almost like you could find this in the woods somewhere hidden.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like a deformed man rotting.
I think for me, I kind of like some of the more, like, later on, some of the more outlandish faces that he has in the later films.
I feel like I don't like those as much, but we'll talk about those.
We will get into them, don't you worry.
And, oh, man, the final chase just comes out of nowhere and is intense and wonderful and, man.
Oh,
perfect.
My God, yeah. It's just, it's such a... Oh my god!
And then when
we're literally at a loss for words on this movie, man.
So I'm actually we just finished watching this film, but how does he die after this hanging?
He gets the axe in the head.
Oh yes,
yeah, and and then that's where you get like the iconic like chip in his the chip in his hockey mask, like which then sticks around for every subsequent entry. I'm pretty sure even No, I don't know. From what does the remake mask have the chip in there as well?
I think so. I think it does.
I really hope it does because, like, bro, like any reference to Part 3 in any subsequent movie, oh man, it makes me a happy man. Makes me a happy little boy.
And I love the day epilogue of this one. So she does the classic thing where she gets on a boat, goes into the middle of the lake, and then hides out and sleeps there. And then she sees in the window from a distance Jason's deformed, blood-covered face.
Oh yeah, and he's smiling in glee.
He's giddy with excitement.
Yeah, that's like the only kind of part where I like found genuinely creepy about like unmasked Jason in this, when you see his face, because like the excitement, the light in his eyes seeing her, and then him like running out of the house, like that is some scary shit right there.
Yes.
I love it. And especially that it's in daytime as well. It's not easy to make a daytime daytime shot in a horror movie is scary, but they pulled it off.
It is. I think it's so terrifying. Imagine being on that boat where that was like your safety position, and that Jason would not care, and just imagining him just running through the water towards you.
See, that's what I wish, and that's what I hate about the ending of that scene. The Jason's mom corpse coming out and grabbing Chris, which the corpse looks fake as shit as well, but, like, that's funny. Like, it's funny, but... Man, that scene was, like, genuinely scary, and I feel like that's one of the only times where the movie's goofiness kind of ruined it for me.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, what you're saying before, like, you know, like, Jason maybe, like, trudging through the water. I wish they did something like that. Instead, they had to have, like, this, they just basically rehashed the bloody corpse coming out of the water, and I didn't like that, honestly, because, like... I don't get scared by horror movies that much anymore, but, like, watching that scene, I'm like, this is great, and then... They just kind of didn't stick the landing for me at the very end.
Like you feel the helplessness of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then with the bloated corpse coming out, it's just like, why? You're going so good. We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
I like with the Pamela Voorhees body though that her face is covered in leeches. Did you see that? Covered in moving leeches.
I didn't really notice that, but that's a pretty cool detail.
What you notice in Blu-ray, man?
Oh,
what you notice in Blu-ray? We're revisiting all of these in this Blu-ray collection that I got, where they used to. We watched them first on DVD.
Yeah.
And man, I love that I sort of hate it that I've become now like a snob for like resolution and stuff. But it is great seeing in this great quality.
Oh no, yeah, it's wonderful, honestly. Oh my god.
Wasn't any 4K remaster in 3D.
I know. Even though I can't watch 3D movies because it doesn't affect me. I can't see 3D movies. Like Rhys, what's the last 3D movie you went to go watch?
Yogi Bear.
Damn, man.
The Yogi Bear movie.
Oh, a classic. Dan Aykroyd and Justin Timberlake. Damn, bro. I think the last one I went to go watch was fucking Ice Age 4.
Oh.
Continental Drift with the funny grandma and the pirates. Remember that movie?
Nope. I don't think I've seen a full Ice Age movie all the way through.
What?
Yep.
Bro, hey, that's a marathon me idea one day. That will be pain. I marathoned those with my brother and his mate Regan. Bro, as the movies went on, they got so much worse.
I would be down for that.
Yeah, you reckon?
Okay, yeah, I totally would be.
Alright, too easy. Alright, well, we'll lock that in at some point.
Okay, we'll celebrate whenever the North Pole melts to completely, and all the sea levels have rose. That is when we will celebrate with Ice Age.
Oh, you know what would have been perfect though if we did if Waterworld was a franchise, we could have covered Waterworld when the whole world's flooded.
Oh, perfect.
Damn.
Perfect.
Well. We'll do a Kickstarter for that. Maybe we'll make the Waterworld sequels.
When I think of Yogi Bear, I think of TJ Miller being in that movie.
He's
one of the camp. One of like the park rangers. Yeah.
I remember the other park ranger because he's played by Tom Cavanagh, who plays Wells in The Flash.
Oh, okay.
And I remember like I watched The Flash briefly, and I was like, oh, it's the guy from Yogi Bear. Oh my god. And then I remember TJ Miller, and I'm like, ugh, TJ Miller, gross.
You poor man.
You poor man. You're the one that remembers T.J. Miller, the fuck from the Emoji Movie.
Oh no, I mean just watching The Flash.
But yeah, no, not an easy time.
But man, this movie goes by like a flash. Like it is just overall, I could not fault this for what it is,
and I could not recommend this enough to any horror fan really.
If this is a type of movie that you like. This is the peak of that.
Most definitely.
Without a doubt. And this is maybe gonna go on my Letterboxd top 4.
That's some high praise right there, man.
A movie that can make you feel so much joy and so much regret for not being able to see this in 3D. But one day, Kane and I will be 82 in the year
2082.
2082.
In the year 1982, we're going to go back.
Yeah.
Go back in time for when it first released.
On the 100th anniversary of this, and we can finally see Friday the 13th, Part 3.
In 3D! 3D. Have a lovely night, everybody.
And don't forget to check out our Facebook page at Marathon Me Official, all one word, and our Instagram, marathonme_official, to keep up to date on the podcast. And hey, if you want to get into contact with us, email us at marathonmepodc, yes, the letter C, @gmail.com. Like podcast without the arse.